There are some things a man will never say out loud, at least not right away. He may not confess his feelings in grand words or dramatic gestures. He may never even admit to himself that he's falling for you. But love, interest, and emotional closeness, they all have a way of slipping out anyway, not through confessions, but through subtle signs. These signs are quiet, almost invisible to the casual eye, but if you're paying attention, you'll see it, you'll feel it. He won't say, "I'm falling for you," but he'll remember that one small detail you mentioned weeks ago. He won't beg for your attention, but he'll find every reason, real or made up, just to be around you. He won't declare his feelings with fireworks, but his actions will whisper truths his lips are too afraid to speak. The truth is, when a man starts to care deeply, he becomes different around you. More thoughtful, more nervous, more observant. And though his pride or fear may keep him from saying it, his heart keeps showing it in ways he may not even realize. That's the beauty of emotional attraction. It speaks without words. These subtle signs are often missed. They're soft, they're slow, but they're real. And they matter, because when a man starts doing things unconsciously that reflect how closely he's thinking about you, it means something powerful is happening beneath the surface. It means you're not just in his life, you're starting to matter to his heart. So if you've ever wondered whether a man is just being nice, or if he's actually leaning towards something more, this list is for you. These are the quiet moments, the almost invisible gestures, and the gentle shifts in behavior that tell you he's not just interested, he's moving closer, one silent step at a time. Let's uncover the 15 subtle signs he wants to get closer and what they really mean. 1. He remembers small details you barely mentioned once. When a man wants to get closer to you, his attention to detail becomes sharper. He starts noticing things most people overlook, not because he's trying hard, but because he genuinely cares. One of the strongest signs is when he remembers the tiniest things you said in passing. Maybe it was something you mentioned casually, like a favorite song, a specific brand of tea you like, or a story about your childhood you didn't think mattered. But somehow, he holds on to those fragments and brings them back later, proving he was not just listening, he was paying attention. This kind of memory isn't about having a good brain. It's about having a heart that's tuned into you. When a guy remembers small things, it's because those words stuck with him. They became personal to him because you are becoming personal to him. He stores your words not like facts, but like pieces of a puzzle he's trying to understand. Your personality, your emotions, your dreams. It's also a way for him to show you, silently, that you matter. In a world where most people forget conversations in minutes, someone who remembers what you said weeks ago is rare and intentional. It creates a sense of emotional safety. You feel heard, seen, and valued. That's not just affection, it's effort. Sometimes he won't say much. He may not confess his feelings directly, but in the way he recalls something you said only once, he's saying everything he can't put into words. It's his way of letting you know, I'm listening because I care. I remember because you're important. That subtle sign, wrapped in silence, often speaks louder than any confession. 2. He finds excuses to be around you, even for no reason. When a man starts to feel something deeper, one of the first things he does is try to be physically present. He may not always know how to say what he feels, but his actions reveal it. You'll notice he starts showing up more, at places he normally wouldn't, or at times when there's really no reason to be there. It won't always be loud or obvious. It might look casual, even random. But underneath it all, there's a quiet motive. He just wants to be near you. He may tell himself he's just dropping by, just helping out, or just checking in. But the truth is, he's drawn to your energy, your presence. Being around you gives him comfort, curiosity, or excitement he may not fully understand yet. So he creates reasons, no matter how small, to place himself within your world. And even when there's no real reason at all, he shows up anyway. Because for him, your presence is the reason. This behavior isn't always about big gestures. It's about consistency. When someone finds comfort in your company, they seek it without needing a special occasion. They crave the silence, the laughter, the atmosphere you bring. For him, being around you becomes the highlight, not the background. And though he may not confess it, his presence says enough. Even when he doesn't talk much or do anything special, his quiet appearances reveal a lot. It's his way of showing interest, of slowly building a connection without pushing too hard. Every little excuse is actually a small attempt to say, I feel something here, and I want to be part of it. When a man finds himself just wanting to be where you are, his heart is already moving closer, whether he realizes it or not. 3. He mirrors your body language unconsciously. When a man starts developing feelings for you, his body often responds before his words do. One of the strongest, most subtle signs of connection is unconscious mirroring. This happens when he starts to reflect your movements, posture, or gestures without realizing it. It's not planned or forced, it's instinctive. His body is naturally aligning with yours, responding to a silent bond forming between you. Mirroring body language is a non-verbal way people build rapport. When someone feels emotionally or psychologically connected, their subconscious starts to copy the rhythm, energy, and movement of the person they're drawn to. It's like a quiet echo. When you lean forward, he leans too. When you fold your arms or tilt your head, he does the same moments later, and he's usually not even aware of it. This kind of behavior shows more than just attraction. It signals comfort, focus, and emotional alignment. Without words, he's telling you that he feels in sync with you. It creates a subtle sense of closeness, like you're both operating on the same wavelength. And because it's unconscious, it's one of the most honest signals his body can give. He might not say how he feels. He might even act reserved or cautious. But while his mind might be hiding emotions, his body can't. The mirroring happens naturally because in those moments, you've become the center of his attention. His body adjusts to yours not to impress, but to connect. It's a deep, unspoken way of saying, I'm with you, I understand you, I feel safe here. And sometimes, what a person's body reveals, especially when they don't even know it, is more honest than anything they could ever say out loud. 4. He asks personal questions, but gently. When a man wants to get closer to you, one of the first things he does is try to understand who you are beyond the surface. He starts to ask personal questions, not to invade your space, but to connect with it. The way he does it is telling. He doesn't push, he doesn't pry. He simply opens small doors with soft curiosity, giving you the choice to step through them or not. That gentleness is important. It shows he respects your boundaries, but also genuinely wants to know the real you. His questions may seem casual at first, but there's depth underneath them. He might ask about your childhood, your fears, your dreams, or what makes you feel safe. He doesn't ask to collect facts. He asks to understand your world. And the way he listens, without interrupting or judging, tells you he values your thoughts. He's not rushing to talk about himself. He's creating space for you to be seen and heard. This gentle curiosity is a quiet sign of emotional investment. It's his way of saying, you matter to me. I care about what shaped you. He's not interested in small talk. He's interested in your story. And he asks with care because he doesn't want to scare you away. He knows that vulnerability is earned, not demanded. When a man asks personal questions with patience and respect, it reveals how much he's thinking about you and how much he wants to be trusted by you. He's not just learning what you like, he's learning how to treat you. In a world where many people only ask to respond, he asks to understand. And that's one of the clearest, most quiet signs that he's ready to build something real. 5. He texts or calls without any real topic, just to talk. When a man begins to develop genuine feelings, communication becomes less about purpose and more about presence. One of the clearest signs he wants to get closer is when he reaches out to you for no particular reason. There's no urgent question, no specific task. He just wants to talk. Maybe it's a message at a random time, or a call that starts with, "I was just thinking about you." It may seem casual, but behind it is a deeper desire to feel connected. When someone initiates conversation without needing anything from you, it means your presence is enough. He doesn't need a reason. You are the reason. These simple moments often carry more weight than planned conversations. They come from a place of comfort, where he feels drawn to your voice, your energy, your thoughts. He may not always say it directly, but his actions whisper it. He misses you, he thinks of you, and he wants to be part of your day. Sometimes he'll send a meme, a random thought, or just, "Hey." It's not about the content, it's about the connection. He's not waiting for you to give him something. He's giving you his attention without asking for anything in return. That effort, small as it may seem, is personal. It shows that you're living in the back of his mind, maybe even in his heart. In a world full of distraction, when someone chooses to reach out just to hear from you, it's never meaningless. It's intentional, and it's one of the quietest but strongest signs that he doesn't just want to be someone you talk to. He wants to be someone you talk to often, freely, and always. 6. He notices changes in your mood instantly. When a man truly wants to get closer, he becomes emotionally attuned to you, sometimes without even realizing it. One of the clearest signs of that connection is how quickly he senses even the smallest shifts in your mood. You don't have to cry, complain, or explain, he just knows. Whether it's a change in your tone, your energy, or even the way you type a message, he picks up on it almost instantly. His sensitivity isn't random, it's a reflection of how closely he's paying attention to you. This kind of awareness comes from a place of emotional investment. He's not just observing you, he's feeling with you. Your happiness lifts him, and your sadness weighs on him. He might not always know the exact reason you're upset, but he'll notice that something's different. And more importantly, he'll care enough to gently ask or offer support. Not because he feels obligated, but because your emotional state matters to him. It's in these small, quiet moments where true connection shows itself. When someone starts noticing the changes you try to hide, it means you've become more than just part of their day. You've become part of their emotional world. He pays attention not just to your words, but to the space between them. He listens to your silence, watches your pauses, and reads what you don't say out loud. And when a man does that, it's not about trying to fix you, it's about being present. He doesn't want you to go through anything alone, even if he can't solve it. That instant awareness of your mood is his way of saying, "I see you, I feel what you feel, and I'm here." Sometimes love doesn't speak, it notices. Chapter 7. He uses we instead of I in conversations. When a man starts to emotionally invest in someone, the way he talks begins to shift in subtle but powerful ways. One of the clearest signs that he wants to get closer is when he starts using the word we instead of I during conversations. It may seem like a small change, but it carries a deep meaning. Without even realizing it, he begins to include you in his thoughts, his plans, and even his identity. His words start to reflect not just his individual experience, but a shared one, something that now involves you. The use of we shows a mental transition from independence to togetherness. It's not just about him anymore. Even in simple conversations, when he talks about the future, experiences, or decisions. He starts to imagine them with you in the picture. This subtle shift means he's no longer thinking of his world as something separate from yours. Emotionally, he's beginning to merge your presence with his direction. And what makes it more meaningful is that it usually happens naturally. He might not consciously notice that he's doing it, but his heart does. His feelings are quietly rewriting his language. Through it, he's saying that being close to you isn't just a moment, it's becoming a mindset. This kind of language builds emotional safety. It signals unity, consideration, and a desire to walk side by side. When someone uses we, they're offering more than attention. They're offering inclusion. And even if he hasn't said how he feels directly, this choice of words reveals his intentions clearly. Because when someone truly wants to build something real with you, they stop thinking in terms of me and start dreaming in terms of us. 8. He shares things he doesn't tell others. When a man begins to trust you on a deeper level, he slowly lets you into the parts of himself that he usually keeps hidden. One of the strongest signs he wants to get closer is when he shares things with you that he doesn't share with anyone else. These could be memories, insecurities, regrets, fears, or even dreams he rarely talks about. It's not about storytelling, it's about trust. He's choosing to show you the layers beneath his surface, the parts that carry weight and meaning for him. This kind of sharing is intimate. It means he feels emotionally safe around you, enough to let his guard down. In a world where men are often taught to hide vulnerability, choosing to be open isn't a casual act. It's a quiet form of bravery. When he begins to reveal his inner world, it's not just a pastime in conversation. It's a way of saying, I feel seen by you, and I want you to see me fully. He might talk about moments that shaped him, pain he's carried, or things he's never been able to say out loud. He doesn't do it for sympathy. He does it because your presence makes him feel like it's okay to be real. That kind of openness doesn't happen with just anyone. It's reserved for someone he's emotionally drawn to, someone he wants close, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And while he may not label it as affection, his willingness to open up is one of the most sincere forms of connection. Because when a man lets you into the rooms he keeps closed for the world, he's not just sharing his thoughts, he's handing you a key to a part of himself that very few are allowed to see. 9. He looks at you when you're not looking. There's something deeply honest about the way someone looks at you when they think you won't notice. It's unfiltered, unplanned, and completely genuine. When a man finds himself drawn to you emotionally, one of the clearest and quietest signs is the way his eyes follow you when you're not looking. It's not about staring, it's about being captivated. His gaze lingers on you, not because he's trying to figure you out, but because something about you already feels familiar, comforting, or simply beautiful to him. These silent glances often carry more meaning than words ever could. He watches the way you move, the way you smile, the way you interact with the world, not in a way that invades your space, but in a way that shows he's emotionally present, even in stillness. He's not just seeing you, he's absorbing you. Those unguarded moments become precious to him because they show you in your most natural state. And that's what he's falling for. When someone looks at you only when you're not looking, it means they're not seeking validation. They're soaking in admiration. It's not performative. It's instinctual. His heart moves before his logic catches up. There's something in you that holds his attention, whether it's the way you laugh or the way you quietly sit in thought. And though he may not say much, that glance speaks loudly. You matter to me, even when I can't say it. These moments reveal depth. Affection that is silent is often the most sincere. And when a man looks at you when you're not looking, it's because part of him feels at home simply by being near you, even if you don't see it happening. His gaze becomes his quiet confession. 10. He offers to help with small things in your life. When a man is genuinely interested in you and wants to move closer emotionally, one of the ways he expresses it is through action, not grand gestures. but the small, consistent ways he tries to make your life easier. He begins to offer help with things that may seem minor to others, but matter to you. These little offers are his way of showing care, concern, and presence. He may not say, "I like you" outright, but he'll show it through quiet efforts, where he expects nothing in return. This kind of help isn't about proving anything. It's not for show or to impress. It's sincere, whether it's carrying something heavy, running a quick errand, checking in on how your day went, or fixing something you mentioned in passing. He's paying attention to the details of your life. And he's stepping in not because he thinks you need him, but because he wants to be part of your world, even in the smallest ways. Men often express their emotions through actions rather than words. When he helps you with small things, it's his version of saying, "I see you, I respect you, and I want to support you." He's creating moments where he can show up for you without overstepping, without making it about him. Just genuine acts that make your day lighter. These small efforts speak volumes. They show that he's not just thinking about you when it's convenient, he's thinking about you throughout the day, noticing where he can quietly add value. And the more he does it, the clearer it becomes. He's not offering help because he has to. He's doing it because being close to you feels right, and showing up in those little ways is how he's building his place beside you. 11. He initiates physical contact, like touching your hand or shoulder. When a man starts to feel emotionally and physically connected to you, one of the quietest yet most telling signs is his desire to close the physical distance between you. This often shows up through small, intentional touches, brief contact that may seem casual but carries a deeper meaning. A gentle touch on your shoulder, a quick brush of your hand, or even a soft tap on your arm while talking. These are not random gestures. They are his way of reaching out, hoping for a moment of closeness that words can't always create. These touches are rarely bold or invasive. They're subtle, respectful, and often done in a way that feels natural. That's what makes them sincere. He's not trying to make a move. He's expressing comfort and connection. When a man initiates this kind of physical contact, it usually means he feels emotionally safe around you and wants you to feel safe with him too. His actions say, "I want to be near you," in a way that feels soft and non-threatening. Touch is one of the most primal forms of communication. When someone you're comfortable with initiates gentle contact, it creates a sense of trust and intimacy. It's not always about attraction in a physical sense. It's about reassurance, affection, and presence. These moments often happen instinctively, especially when he's laughing with you, walking beside you, or listening closely. Even the smallest touch can carry warmth, attention, and care. And when he chooses to connect with you through these quiet gestures, it's because words alone aren't enough for what he wants to express. It's his way of saying, "I'm here. I feel something real." Those tiny moments of contact often speak the loudest about the closeness he's hoping to build with you. 12. He teases you playfully, but never crosses a line. When a man is drawn to you and wants to get emotionally closer, his behavior often becomes a mix of lightness and care. One of the most telling signs is playful teasing. It's his way of building a connection, creating laughter, and testing comfort, all without becoming too serious too quickly. His teasing isn't meant to hurt or belittle. It's light, harmless, and thoughtful. And most importantly, it never crosses a line. That balance reveals how much he respects you, while still wanting to share something more than just polite conversation. This kind of teasing shows he's paying attention. He notices your reactions, your expressions, and your boundaries. He may joke about something small you do, the way you pronounce a word, or a funny habit, but he does it with a smile, and he backs off the moment it feels too much. His goal isn't to make fun of you, it's to create a personal rhythm between you two, a playful back and forth that builds comfort and emotional closeness. Playful teasing is often how people express affection without being too vulnerable. It's a way of saying, "I like being around you. I want to make you laugh. I notice you." When a man does this in a respectful, gentle way, it shows emotional intelligence and intention. He's not just trying to impress you, he's trying to connect in a way that feels unique to you both. And while it may seem like light humor on the surface, that kind of teasing, measured, kind, and consistent, is a strong sign he's not only comfortable with you, but also invested. It means he's building a space where both of you can be yourselves, with ease, laughter, and the kind of closeness that grows slowly but meaningfully. 13. He makes future plans that include you. When a man begins to see you as someone important in his life, it naturally reflects in the way he talks about the future. One of the strongest signs that he wants to get closer is when he starts including you in his future plans, both short-term and long-term. These plans don't have to be grand or overly romantic. Sometimes they're as simple as mentioning a place he wants to go and saying, "We should go together," or talking about an event weeks away and assuming you'll be there with him. The key is that he's thinking ahead, and in those thoughts, you're already there. This inclusion is rarely forced. It slips in naturally because in his mind, spending time with you just makes sense. You're becoming part of the vision he's forming for his life, even in the smallest ways. It shows that he doesn't see your presence as temporary. Instead, he's beginning to picture you as a consistent part of what's coming next. When someone brings you into their future, even in passing comments, it reveals more than just interest. It reveals intention. He's not just enjoying the present with you, he's quietly hoping you'll still be around later. It's a soft way of saying, "I want you here, not just now, but then too." These subtle invitations to the future build emotional intimacy. They make you feel included, chosen, and secure. They show that he's not just focused on today's conversation or this week's plan. He's beginning to create a space for you in his life that stretches beyond the moment. And when a man does that, it's a clear sign his feelings are real, steady, and deepening. One thought, one plan, one quiet hope at a time. 14. He complements things other people don't notice. When a man begins to feel a deeper emotional connection, his attention shifts in a very specific way. He no longer just sees what's obvious. He starts noticing the quiet, subtle parts of you that others overlook. And one of the strongest signs he wants to get closer is when he complements those things. Not the surface-level stuff that anyone could point out, but the tiny, thoughtful details that only someone who's paying close attention would see. His compliments feel different, not louder, but more meaningful. He might mention how you express yourself, how your eyes change when you talk about something you love, how you make people feel at ease, or how you stay calm in chaos. These aren't generic observations. They're reflections of his growing awareness of who you are, not just what you look like. When a man starts complimenting these deeper aspects, it means he's seeing you not just as someone attractive, but as someone valuable and layered. These compliments aren't always planned or poetic. Often, they come out in passing, but they linger because they're real. He's drawn to the things that matter to you, the little habits, reactions, or quirks that make you uniquely you. That kind of attention comes from admiration, but also from emotional closeness. It means he's been observing, not in a distant or casual way, but with intention and warmth. When someone notices what no one else does, it creates a special kind of bond. It makes you feel seen in ways you didn't even expect. And when a man does this consistently, it's a strong sign his feelings go beyond surface attraction. He's not just looking, he's seeing, and that depth of observation often reveals a heart that's already falling. He gets quiet or nervous when trying to open up emotionally. When a man truly starts to care for someone, expressing his emotions can become unexpectedly difficult. He may be confident in other areas of his life, but when it comes to talking about his deeper feelings, especially with someone who matters, he can suddenly become quiet, hesitant, or visibly nervous. This isn't because he doesn't feel anything. In fact, it's often the opposite. He feels so much that he's afraid of saying the wrong thing, being misunderstood, or revealing a part of himself that he's not used to showing. This kind of silence isn't cold, it's vulnerable. It's the moment where his words start to fail, not because he's avoiding connection, but because he wants it too much. He may pause, stumble, or even change the subject, but behind those shifts is a heart trying to find the courage to be real. For many men, opening up emotionally isn't just hard, it's unfamiliar. They're not always taught how to express softness, fear, or longing. So when he starts to try, it may come out awkward, broken, or incomplete, but that effort, even in silence, speaks volumes. His nervousness is not distance, it's depth. It shows he's entering emotional territory that feels risky, because what's at stake now matters to him. And when you see him get quiet in moments where he's trying to share something honest, it's not a lack of words, it's a silent confession. He's reaching for connection in the most honest way he knows. Being emotionally vulnerable takes time and trust, and when a man gets nervous while trying to open up, it's a raw and real sign that you've touched something in him that's rarely touched. His silence, in that moment, is the loudest thing his heart knows how to say.